So we are starting with moving. Let's review everything. F of x plus c is make c units up. F of x minus c is making c unit down. F of x plus c. Now inside the parentheses is always opposite from the sign. So those Diego, Elias, that's okay. Just knowing inside the thing. If inside the thing is x minus 2, is actually moving right 2. If f of x plus 5, then it's moving left by units. Okay, Diego, you follow me? Okay, so even though you guys are the only two guys wrong, but that's okay because but I need you to get it right on the test. Right now, it's okay to get it wrong and not big deal. Right? Now, if you got negative f of x is reflecting across x-axis because all the output becomes opposite. And same thing is reflecting across the y-axis if the input becomes opposite. And c of f of x, we're going to call it multiplier. I'm going to talk about how do I graph multiplier. But just know if c is between 0 to 1, let's say 1/2 or 3/2, no, actually 3/4, it's going to be compressed. If anything greater than 1, it's going to be called stretch. Yes, Isaac?
I want to stretch it.
Oh, while we're talking about stretching, so that's interesting. Okay, so I'm going to give you a graph called f of x. And besides that, I also want to talk about something else too. Okay, let's just say I have a graph like this. Okay, so we're going to call this f of x. Now, before we start off, we're going to talk about something else as well. We're going to talk about are they negative or positive or domain. So let's start with talking about, now this is something I didn't talk about before. So what would be a domain and range of this function? Domain and range. Okay, so domain. How do I find out domain of this function? Anybody is comfortable enough to tell me, raise your hand to tell me what is the domain of this function? Diego?
-4 to -7.
Perfect. Very good. How do I know, how does anybody don't know how to find domain? Raise your hand. Domain is an x. So which x value they start and which value x value end. What will be a range here? Yes.
-4 to 2.
-4 to +2. Good. And it's going to be bracket because they are solid dots. Why? Because you're going to scan. One is scanned this way, right? You scanned it, right? But when's the first time you see the first value? You scan it. This is -4. And I was 7. Is that okay for domain? Range is going to, you scan from the bottom. You scan. First time you intersect, it's going to be -4 to all the way to 2. Is that okay? Now, let's talk about which region is positive. Which region is positive? Which region is positive? What?
The top right.
Okay, so from where to where is a function positive? Yes. -4 to -4. So -4 is a positive, right? To the -2 is not including because a -2 is actually 0. Is this okay? Because they are positive. They are above x-axis. So a lot of time people don't know what's that means above x-axis. How about negative? Negative.
-2 to 7.
I'm gonna call someone else. Actually, can you tell me when's negative? When's a function negative? If it positive means above x-axis, what's negative mean? Okay, so from where to where, from which x value to which x value is function negative? Mm-mm. Anybody else? Anna? -2 to 7. Good. So -2, it should be parenthesis. 7 should be bracket because 7 still negative. So anything negative. So that means you start from this point to here because everything here is negative. Does that make sense? Ashley, is that okay? Okay. Now, yes.
Can you explain why it's parentheses and brackets?
Right. So at parenthesis here, -2 is not including because -2 is not exactly negative. Because at -2, output is actually positive. Oh wait, actually 0. Sorry, 0 is not negative, so that's why I put parenthesis -2, and 7 still negative because at 7 that's gonna give you this. Yes, Anna. Can I explain what? Range is basically scan from the bottom. The first time you see the answer is at -4 because this is -4. All the way to scan stop, it's gonna be at 2. Does that make sense? You scan from the bottom up. Range you spin bottom up. Don't make you scan this way. Am I going too fast? No. Okay, let's talk about increasing versus decreasing. So increasing where? From where to where is a function increasing? What does increasing mean? Why is 2 to 4? Okay, so it's go up, but you're gonna be like, well, depending on which perspective, right? If I go in from 2, if I look at this way, it's still going up, right? If I look at this way, it's still going up, right? That doesn't make sense. But what is it better is probably looking at the slope. Are the slope positive or negative? So in this case, the slope is positive, so that is gonna be from 2 to 4. But not including 2 or not including 4 because at 2 or 4 it's not really going up. It's happened after 2 and before 4 because at 4 it's actually stopped. Am I doing okay? What is decreasing? What is it? -4 to +2. Is that okay? That's domain, range, positive, negative, increasing, decreasing. Now there's one more thing called constant. A constant is going to be they stay at exactly same output. So where's the constant here? Going to be 4 to 7. Good. Because at 4 to 7, it's not really increasing or decreasing. It's not going up or going down. It's a constant. They stay at 2. And that's it. That's the only thing that happened there. It stay at constant. I could have said it's bracket here because it start with 4 and 7 they all does. Am I going too fast?
Yeah, so
Yes.
why for the increase and decrease is on the bracket?
Because you're not really increasing at 2 to 4. At 2 and 4. Because at 2 it's a kind of like a pause. It's stop. It's not. It's between increasing to decreasing, right? And at 4 is between increasing to constant. So it's not really increasing at that moment. And a small microscopic at 4, it's not really increasing. It just stopped. It's no longer increasing. Anything before that is still increasing. How many people are lost? Raise your hand. Let me know before I move on. Yes. Increasing, that means when a function has a positive slope. So the way kind of think about positive slope, think about this, man. Are you left hand or right hand? Are you right hand or left hand? Huh?
Right hand.
Right hand? So good. You look into the right. If the function is going up, then it's positive. No, it's sorry, it's increasing. It's positive slope, it's increasing. Now, if you're right-handed, if you go into the right and it's going down, then that's decreasing. Does that make sense? Did that help you? Anything else? Diego, are you paying attention to me, or are you paying attention to whatever is over there on your phone? On paper? Okay. Yes, Anna? In this case, it's in parentheses because think about it. If you say 2 to 4, right, from here, is it 2? Am I increasing? No. It's after occur after 2. Because after 2, they start going up, right? But at 2 is actually going from decreasing change to increasing. So at 2 is not really increasing or decreasing. Same thing as at 4. Am I going too fast? No, let's talk about transformation. So the same graph, I can tell you about this. So look at this. Actually, you can do it on decimals too. So I'm going to show you how to do it on decimals as well. So that way you can see it. So let's just say if you have f of x, right, is equal to, I don't know, absolute value x, right? Absolute value x here. And look at this. If I have f of x plus c, and if you add a slider of c, so this is how you add slider, and you move the c, you see that c is going up or coming down. So you can actually add slider. So learn how to deal with slider because it could help you solve SAT problems. Because sometimes you can add a slider or adjust the c where you have 1 solution or 2 solution, infinite solution. So this, you can actually work with this. If those people are very good at it, that plus c and minus c, that becomes like that. So they take the whole graph up or whole graph down. Now, if you pay attention, if I change to that c, right? And let's just say plus c here. Now, if you see is negative, it's actually moving to the right. C is positive. It's actually moving left. Do you see that? Is this okay? Now, imagine if I asked you this graph, right? I say, hey, I want you to graph f of x minus, sorry, plus 2. Okay, so I want you to graph f of x plus 2. Now pay attention. All you gotta do is keep the endpoints and turning point. So use endpoints and turning points. Okay, use the endpoint and turning point. And since this is f of x plus 2, then can I just graph a new graph here? Right? If I'm go up 2, is that okay? Everything go up 2. So it's going to be here, 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 here. And this is a new graph. Does that make sense? I just go every endpoint and turning point. I'm just going to go up value of 2 because they told you f of x plus 2. Is this okay? Take the endpoint and turning point. And the rest of the thing just connecting the dots. Now, what if I ask you says, hey, does that make sense? Now, what if I ask you today says, hey, graph f of x minus 1 minus 2. So I'm going to use this graph to graph f of x minus 1 minus 2. Take every turning point and every endpoint and follow the instruction they told you to do. Do they tell you go up or go down? Do they tell you go left or go right? And how many units of each one? So I want you to try to graph f of x minus 1 minus 2. I'm going to put all of them in the same graph, but it's just different color code. You know what? Let's copy this. So nice thing is about copy. Paste. So how do I graph f of x plus 2? I take the turning point and I go up 2 and I connect the dots. Does that make sense? Everybody understand? Okay, you should learn this in Algebra 2 already. So the same graph, I'm going to graph f of x minus 1 plus 2. Anna? Kind of zone out for a little bit. So what does this graph tell you to do? Go up or go down? Down. Go right or go left? Right, how many units? So let me ask you a quick question. Is this graph going right 1 first or going down 2 first? Or does it matter? So what do you think it happened first? Or it doesn't matter at all? Huh? It don't matter? Does everybody agree with Diego? But which one go first? Even it doesn't matter, but which one to go first? Yes. Why is negative 1?
Because it's in the parentheses too.
There you go. Emily and Sydney figure out it's inside the parentheses. So the order operation matter now. You gotta pay attention. The order operation matter. It actually going right first and going down 2. So I'm gonna take this point right here, right? And we're gonna call this A, B, C, D. We're gonna form A prime. A prime is moving a direction. So I'm moving right 1, down 2. This is the A prime. Is that okay? And move right down. This is the B prime. Is that okay? Right 1, down 2. This is a C prime. And D is this. And that's going to be D prime. So I'm just going to connect the dots. And guess what? Every point is going right 1, down 2. And I use A prime to tell you that it's after transformation. Got it? Okay. Let's graph. What is f of x negative? What's f negative f of x? What does that do? Reflect across the x-axis. So I'm going to paste here. Is that okay? So which point I have to pay attention? Well, this point, right? Because this one is not reflecting. Everything else is reflecting. So this one here is going to be positive 2. You're going to multiply by negative 1, so it's going to be negative 2. So this is A, and this is A prime. Because everything negative becomes positive. Same thing as this point. This is a negative 4. So this becomes 4. Is that okay? Is that okay? And this is going to be here. And this is going to be here. So B prime, C prime, D prime. So the graph is going to be reflecting. Did you see they reflecting across the y-axis? Let me know if I'm going too fast. I don't know if I'm going too fast. Yes. Anybody? Everybody's good? All right. Now you can probably say what it be f of negative x graph is. Let's just say f of negative x graph. What does that do? refracting across the y-axis. This one's kind of hard to think about. So I'm gonna paste it. So reflecting across y-axis. So that means this point is gonna go, oops. That means this point is gonna go A and A prime. Does that make sense? I'm recross y-axis. Is that okay? How about this point, B? What is the opposite of B according to y-axis? Which coordinate would it be? What's the B prime at? -2, -4. Good. So this is B prime. How about C? What about C prime? How about C prime? -4, -2, right? Is that okay? And this is 3 units to right. So do you see the symmetry? Symmetry to y-axis. Are we good? Now let's have the fun part. How about this one? So first of all, I call it multiplier because the multiplier is easier. But second of all, this one actually has a reflection and has a compress, right? So it has reflection to x-axis and has a compress because 1/2 is less than 1, so it's compressed. Compress factor of 1/2. Now I don't like this because I can sum it up says, hey, it's just multiplier if I want to graph it. So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna paste it. What do I mean by multiplier? Okay, this one's kind of interesting. And you're gonna use this to graph will be a lot easier. Still use the endpoint and turning point. What is the output of this one? This one's -4, comma what? 2, right? Now, what am I gonna do is I take the 2. I take the 2 and just take the output, which is the 2, and just multiply by -1/2. Does that make sense? Because it doesn't matter. You basically this is just saying -1/2 times the y, right? So it actually take the 2 times 1/2 is gonna be what? -1/2 is gonna be what? -1. So this is gonna be A prime. Does that make sense? Do you see that? I only take the, a lot of people take the x value. No, you take the output because y is the y value, or f of x is the y value. I'm gonna take the B point. What do you think B is going to be? I'm gonna ask a random person here. Let's ask Jacob. What do you think B prime coordinate is going to be? Remember, we're trying to graph -1/2 f of x. Sure. Jacob, any ideas? So what will be a new coordinate for the B prime? So this is B here. This is a B here. You see the B on the bottom. What will be the new coordinate of this B according to this? It will not be 4, 2, but you might get to the pretty close. Anna? 2, 2. Yep. Why? Because X value did not change, right? So here, this X did not change too. And this is -4. Now, -4 is going to multiply by the multiplier. So what's -4 times 1? -1/2. So it's going to be 2. So this is going to be 2, comma 2. Does that make sense? So we're going to call that the B prime. So we're going to connect the dots. Now, how about this coordinate C? C is going to be 4, 2. What will be the C prime will be, Sydney?
Can you explain again how you apply it?
Okay. I take this Y value, right? What is the Y value here? -4, right? And I'm gonna times by -1/2 because basically this is output, this is Y value. So it'd be -1/2 times the Y. So it'd be -4 times -1/2. So it becomes +2. So here it's gonna be 2, comma 2 here. Because the output becomes 2. But the X value did not change. Okay, how about C prime? Does anybody have a C prime? Yes. The huh? 4, 1. Yes, absolutely. Good job. So 4, 1 is gonna be this C prime. Is that okay? How about D prime? Samuel? 7, 1. Good. This is very intuitive. You got it. So you got this line connected here, line connected here, this line connect here. So I actually did both at the same time. I did a reflecting and I do compress. So I think multiplier is a faster way to approach something. Is that okay? Okay. So how about this? Actually, we're gonna go with 3/2 f of x minus 1. Actually, did we do -1 before? Yeah, we did. We're gonna say +2, +1, -2. So this one is gonna be very challenging to craft. The reason being is you have to understand what is the order operation here. What happened first in this case? Parentheses, so moving which direction? Left or right? Left. And what do I do next? You multiply by 3/2. And then what happened after that? Go down 2. Okay, so now you guys go graph it. Kind of challenging on this one. Figure out each coordinate though. Figure out this. So I'll give you this graph, right? Figure out coordinate of each. And then just think about which one is changing, which one's not changing. Now, if I were to say in AP exam, I would have said this one's moving left 1 unit, has a vertical stretch factor of 3/2, and has a translating downward by 2 units, and that's how you're gonna work it. And when you guys check each other, check on the coordinates. I have an actual coordinate here. Yeah, I'll copy down and paste here. So I'll paste it here. Paste. Is that okay? And I say, let's take this and make sure I did all that. If you understand this question, you understand a lot of things on what's gonna be happening. So I'll write down this coordinate for you just in case. This is a 4, -4, comma 2. And this one is 2, comma -4. And this one is 4, comma -2. And this one is 7, comma -2. -4, comma 2, 2, comma -4, 4, comma -2. And we're gonna call this A, B, C, D. Later on, we're gonna have to do this with sine graph, cosine graph, secant graph, tangent graph, cotangent graph, tangent graph. So essentially, if you understand right now, later on it's gonna be much easier. But yeah. So I'm gonna ask 4 volunteers to tell me A prime, B prime, C prime, and D prime. I'm start with the A prime. Miranda, can you tell me what A prime is?
-5, 1.
So you move left. You say -1, right? You say it right here, right?
Yeah.
So move left 1 and multiply by 3/2. So 2 times 3/2 is what? 3, right? And then go down 2. Yep, perfect. This is your A prime. Nice job. Can somebody tell me what a B prime is? Yes.
1, -5.
Go left 1. Multiply by 3/2. No, I don't think so. It's gonna go down 2 more units. I don't think your B prime's right. Pay attention. So imagine this, right? Going left, right? And this is -4 times 3/2. What's -4 times 3/2? What? -6. So it's right here. And then go down 2 more units after that. So it's right here. Do you see that? So it's actually 1/8, I think. -1/8. Well, 1 -8. So this is a B prime. This is A prime. Right? C. How about C prime? Move left 1. Times 3/2 is what? -3. And go down 2 more units. I think it's right here. 3, -5. Yeah. And this one the same thing. So end up the graph is gonna be something like this. Is that okay? Take each point at a time. I'm gonna talk about last one very quickly. Okay. I'm gonna talk about last one very quickly. How do I graph absolute value of f of x? Basically, all the negative to turn to positive. Think about like if you go into a really nice scenery picture. Have you seen this picture with a big lake and the mountain has a reflection on the lake? It kind of the same situation. Everywhere else it's gonna be normal except the lake part. I don't know if that makes sense or not. But the absolute value f of x is this part is gonna be okay. But the other side is gonna reflecting. So hold on a second. Let me move this very quickly. This part is gonna reflecting to all because this part is across x-axis. It becomes like this. So it's gonna reflecting this way. Does that make sense? And come down. And going right to this. And this is the absolute value function. And that's it. Because the negative becomes positive. But positive stays positive. The only time they reflect is when they cross x-axis. Mia! She left. She can't wait to leave this class. Okay, bye. Huh? Oh, thank you.